Try that one
Here
again.
we go. Here we go again.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But we're glad to have you on. So this is gonna be not a super formal interview. Imagine be relatively quick. Um,
Okay.
Miss Linnie Robertson here. We want to catch up with her, talk, understand her story, how I reached out to you, and the things, how closing went, the whole process, any challenges we had to go through, and just overall how was the experience for it. So, um, before we started the interview, she was actually asking me questions about the property and what we're doing to it. So, we're actually cleaning it out. So, I'm looking at replacing at least one appliance, the fridge or so. The washer and dryer we may replace too. So still deciding on that. It just had the house rekeyed um actually earlier today. So it's been quite a busy few days. I think we officially closed. I think it might have been last Wednesday, last Wednesday we officially closed on the property. So want to catch up, Ms. Lenny Robinson. Welcome. So first question I want to ask you is now, I think it's going to touch on a lot of people that we do reach out to for my marketing is how do we first get in contact with you? How do we reach out to you?
I got a text message. Well, I have a text message. But it was in the inbox, Anybody knows you got some properties, I guess, is always asking. I'm gonna have to find you through public records, I'm sure. But anyway, so I mean, from the beginning was just really friendly, really helpful. I voiced my concerns about it being a HUD property. My way of paying back the community, a couple of mine are on the HUD program. And he said, well, he could be, didn't have to be. I said, it could be up to 60 days. So I says, no problem. And so I consider it. And he makes his offer. And I'm going, no, I'm too scared. I think it's a scam. I don't believe it. Don't be scared. It's he's real. He's very real. Look at him there, big man. He is a real man, not artificial intelligence. And honestly, I would have passed on this opportunity had his assistant Jane. I said, I've just changed my mind. I'm not going to sell this piece of property. I'm not going to take it away from her and her little girl. And but so I had initially early on said I at the closing table I will to help offset her expenses since she's a struggling mother. We will I'll give her $500 out of my pocket. I'm going, ain't no way somebody gonna do that. There is no way nobody, some stranger would do that to help a mother. But he did. In fact, he gave $700, I believe, and I matched it, and that got her in her apartment where she is happy. Her and her little girl's very happy, and they've been in that house off and on for the last, I guess, 14 or 15 years. But my financial situation with the business I just acquired had changed, and she understood my motives. And hopefully, we'll always be friends, and they'll do very well in their new, very nice, very large apartment, but still not the house. And so we had a history with her, and I had to deal with that issue with myself. And but if she's in a good spot, she landed softly, and that's what I,
Tanya,
yeah, landed
Tanya, the lieutenant,
safely.
the lieutenant.
Uh, he was as good as his word. Cash out me his part of that money that she needed, which ended up being, a few hundred more than we had initially planned, and no problem to sign. And we got her and her little girl settled, and got all that done. And it's just been a beautiful, seamless, flawless experience. And I would have passed on it all because of being thinking, well, it's some kind of scam, somebody gonna try to steal my property, somebody going some squatter done hit me up, pretend to go buy that, you think all kinds of crazy thoughts. And so finally, we had already signed to go ahead because actually his assistant Jane had sent me a message that next weekend and said, Lenny, I really feel like that you're passing on an opportunity from Si. I'm willing to give up what I would make on this sale if you'll reconsider. And I thought, well, that woman would have no stake whatsoever. That's his personal assistant. I guess she does phone calls and typing, and so I'm not sure what Jane's position is, but an assistant to him. And I thought, well, what a nice text message. And would give up her proceeds from the sale if I would reconsider size offer. And so I think about it and I give it some thought that weekend and pray over it. and decide, yeah, you know what, I think I'm going to go forward, because that added another, I think, $1,500 to my price, which the price was wonderful. He'll offer more than, I mean, I had other calls about the property, none near what Si offered for my property. And
What offers did you have before financially?
like 100,000, 95, 100,000,
Wow.
something like that. And we were well above that. And, and anyway, you know, and to let me say this, to another point to his character is this: every dollar more that he offers me takes something away from what he could make from selling or whatever he decides to do with the property. So, and that speaks loads about him and his assistant. Anybody willing to give up their own, part of the sale, however she had phrased it. I mean, that's just above and beyond, anybody giving up, like Si, sending money to the mother. I mean, if you're considering, or if you're in a financial spot where you really need some extra cash and you have some properties that, I'm not saying my house wasn't producing, it definitely was well below market value. I just had a market analysis done of all my properties. And while that HUD program is guaranteed, most of the money from that property comes in a check to me the first of the month. I walk to the mailbox instead of going to try to collect rent. So it's a
Yeah.
beautiful program.
The definition of mailbox money.
Right, mailbox money. It just shows up. And then they send their part, and they've always been good. Not saying anything at all about that program. Very worthwhile. I'm so thankful for all the years I've been able to have properties on the HUD program. But in this case, the older I get, the more you have to look at the longevity of how long is that going to be? How much more do I need? How many more years am I going to be here to need that? And if you're looking at $600 below the appraised market value for rent in this region, and it's just the time frame was not really conducive to continue when you really give it some good financial reasoning thought. But at any rate, well above anything anybody else I think would ever have offered for their home, well above that. I just want to say I know, because I get the offers in the mail for the properties. And
Wow.
very, very, and that's every penny he gave me more was something he's not going to clear from whatever he does with the property. I just think that says everything about Si and his partners in his business, what they're trying to do for a living. They're willing to offer more to the owners. So, but that means again, every dollar is less that he'll have in his pocket. Honestly, the $700, in all honesty, was given well ahead of our closing date. It was still her pay for the down payments and her first and last month's rent and all that extra money she didn't have.
Wow.
But extremely, extremely seamless, flawless, honest. I mean, I got nervous after it was all said and done. Sheila said, Are you sure they're going to send you the money?" And of course, we have a business attorney. And I said, "Matthew, I'm doing a little something here with the houses, and I've got myself worried about something." He said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "Well, somebody offering to buy one of the houses is nothing new. That I don't, a stranger, things come in the mail every week. You want to sell your property, and it'll always be a, 30 or 40% of what the property would appraise for, those things that come in the mailbox and all. But sale was really, my sale to Si was above probably half what that market analysis was. And that's a really fair division. You know what I'm saying? I hope it brings well more than he even could imagine when he gets done with his landscaping and stuff. And but anyway, I want to just point that out. If you ever consider one of those offers, you get in touch with Sign his group first, because it will be more than what I think anybody else could offer for your property. And that says it all about Si. It ain't just a money thing, it is how he makes a living, I assume, because he seems to be doing it all the time. But just a very good experience, seamless, flawless. And when I freaked out and called my attorney, he talked to Si's attorney, and all that worked out beautifully. And it was just, I really appreciate the experience.
That's amazing. And just clarify, I'm based out of Richmond, Virginia. But I purchased the property. It's Morristown, Tennessee.
Mhm.
We still buy Central Virginia, but the Virginia's got a little expensive. So I reached out to Miss Linnie. Actually, it was Jane. She working acquisitions for me, so she helps with a lot of the calls, reaching out to people, the volume. And we did talk to Miss Linnie, but there was some concerns because she had experience before where someone put in a contract, and I think they lost a key, and there was a ton
Yeah.
of people coming in. It was just a
Yeah.
really, really bad experience. And Miss Linnie was like, "Hey, I don't want tons of people coming in here. I don't feel comfortable giving them key access or so." I'm not saying we do this every time we work about it, but for her specific situation, I understand. Look,
Right.
we won't need to get in the property no more than 3 times before closing. And I think we
And
want to win twice or so.
right.
I let my
Exactly.
realtor walk through or so, and I think I was getting a hard money loan, so my
Right.
walk through, and that's pretty much it. Not saying we do that every single body, but there was some questions or so. So I finally got to catch up with Miss Lenny, and Jane mentioned, like, she sent that message, and she said, "Hey, I'll give up some my cut." I gave a little bit of my cut, so me and Jane, we combined to say, "Hey, how can we get an extra 1,500, $2,000 or so? How can we help out the tenant moving? Because the tenant's been there for 15 years, and it's just not about us too. Like this lady, she has kids. She's been there for 15 years, so we gotta make sure she lands pretty well. We can't just say, "Hey, open, 15 days, good luck."
Right. Right.
Especially with somebody that long standing and the rent been paying rent for 15 years and part of the program. So we got opportunity and we chatted. There's a good thing about talking is sometimes we can update the offer and make changes. Not everything you just, hey, just take cash and close.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's other nuances. Everyone's situation is unique and different. Everyone has preferences. So we
Mm-hmm.
did our best. And no, I just want to thank Ms. Lennon for taking a leap of faith with me or so.
Yeah.
I know we were kind of stranger talking on the phone. This is actually in this interview. This is the first time we've actually seen each other face.
Right.
I won't call
Ever.
it face to face, but at least
Right.
any physical interaction. So she we did some calls and she already said you seem honest. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot because she wanted to take the proceeds from the sale of this house to invest into her business, and no, it just worked out. It was
Yeah.
pretty amazing,
And
and
if I can interrupt, babe, I want to go a little bit longer, and I should have included that in my
take your
analysis
time.
of how we came through the processes. But a few years ago, I had some really nice private estate property. It was probably worth $650,000 or so, and so I had been contacted about this man and said, kind of like Si, that he was interested in the property and that he would give 300,000 for it. Well, and so I'm going, yeah. He says, yeah. Well, so we were redoing all the plumbing down at the house, and we had done a bunch of landscaping, some tree work. It's beautiful private estate, beautiful. I miss the house. It could be redone. It could be fabulous, and I hope it is today. I've since sold that property in a different ad after my agreement with this company, the kind of that approached like so. I didn't really know the man, but very personable, very friendly, and that totally seemed trustworthy. But all in the world he did was make an offer on the house, and then they took the whole house. And I'm talking about this is a very nice piece of property on the west end of Morristown.
Mm,
Put it in the paper like it was his to sell for over what he offered me.
in the
Uh,
paper. Wow.
they went down there and opened up the home, and it was a furnished home, had many of the original belongings, stuff from New York, and scriptured wallpaper, and I forget what all was stolen from the garages, and broken inside the house, and it was
Wow.
foot traffic over and over and over. It was just a couple of summers ago, and I had said then, boy, never again. And then Cy calls, and I'm going, well, I don't know, that's a really generous offer. I mean, I do need to kind of invest and proceed on. And so I was considering it, and then I guess I got cold feet about remembering all the foot traffic, and he was saying his people were there garden things, and there was nobody there. I sent one of our garage men down there to be sure nothing else was broken or stolen. Never even got the keys back to the property. And
Wow.
then when they couldn't sell it and make money, the deal was over. They weren't interested in the house. And this was after a month or so of foot traffic just stomping through the house all the time. So, but since then, I have sold the property, and the family they really loved it. It was a large family. It was a large home. It had like 7,000 square feet plus the garages and outbuildings. Beautiful, beautiful Victorian, almost mansion quality home, plus the 5 private acres and walking trails. I mean, lovely Bradford pear tree line driveways, lovely piece of property. And they just had everybody in the country down there from the ad in the paper. And you would think that this real estate firm owned the place, is the way they had proceeded with it after they had said they were going to buy it. And then at the end of all that, when they didn't get an offer, I suppose that would bring more than what they had promised. They offered me like $100,000 for the piece of property, and we're looking at six hundred
Wow.
thousand dollar home in 5 acres on the west end of Morristown, the elite
I
end.
mean, we went from 300 to 100 grand.
Yes,
A
and
third
just
of the jump.
ridiculous that it was, and all of that together, and all those memories started flooding back in. And now, if Jane hadn't have sent that weekend, God love Jane, God bless her forever. I
Mhm.
don't know if I would have reconsidered. But there are honest people out there who's just willing to buy homes, and that's what they do for a living. Do what they think needs to do to make it better, and some landscaping, like you said. Maybe you have to replace some of the appliances because they're not new by a shot, but making good, intelligent decisions as a way of making a living for him and his family. I want to really impress on people. There are honest people out there flipping homes and stuff to that really will give you what you can agree on for a price for your family. Should you get in a dire strait or get a business and need to invest some money or need some quicker cash maybe than getting a loan or dealing with the bank. A beautiful, seamless experience. It really was. Really was. I hope you do well forever, babe. Forever.
Thank you. I had no idea that we was that far away from the second and third highest offer. We when we give offers, we try to be fair. Of course, and this for anyone who's looking at interviews. Like
Better.
we buy, if we do, we work on it or something. There's gotta be certain money be made, a profit to be there. But
Hmm.
not everything we buy has to be a grand slam. So,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it sounds like a few people were looking for some grand slams.
Right.
Plus, we do talk to a lot of sellers. A lot of times, numbers don't always, don't normally work out. But every now and then, they do work out. But every deal we do, we're not looking for a grand slam.
Mhm.
You are saying, hey, I want to sell as is. I know it's gonna be a
Right.
discount, but I don't need anybody, trying to make 150 or $200,000 off my property or something or
Right.
100 grand.
Right.
Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, some high number. Just give us a chance, give us a shot. We'll do
Yes,
the best we
please do.
can.
Please do. You won't regret. You won't regret your experience with Cy. I can't say that enough to any prospective clients he may have. If it doesn't work out, I mean, just friendly, there for you. I mean, if he's tied up, you might give him a few minutes. Always in touch, or always answering questions. But if you need some money, for whatever reason, and have properties that you're interested maybe in putting on the market with a real estate or try to sell for your own, that could take months. If you've given some thought to maybe letting go of a piece of property, and God knows they're expensive, God's not making any more property, right? The land, He's done with that. So we're just waiting on Him to get back here, take care of the rest of it. But uh, the safe. I just want you to know it's a really safe bet. I just can't really impress on you enough that if you've considered it and you've talked to Si, I'm sure you'll feel the same way I do about him and his staff. And it's just there's no need to be troubled. Everything he's very honest. Everything happens in about 2 weeks. Si had said in 2 weeks we'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to do the closing. We'll give her time and give her time to get her. If it's over 30 days,
Mhm.
so, but I couldn't explain any better how much I appreciate it. It all just worked out beautifully. There's no need to be scared of it or find it intimidating or kind of odd. I can speak from experience. It's been a very pleasant, very effective, quick. I couldn't travel to Jackson, Tennessee and be that far away from the drivers that day and the customers. Now, that was handled electronically by his attorney. Wonderful,
Closing.
wonderful attorney.
Mhm. Electronically. Mhm.
Really good. And really great, really good. My wire came the same day they said that it would, and no problems. And it's just been a wonderful experience. I'm glad Si called me.
Yeah, I would say thank,
Oh,
thank you so much. I remember talking to Jane. I said we gotta do what we
you're
can
going to
for
be
Miss
tough.
Linnie. Like we got to make connection with her, so because we heard your story and what we were trying to do. Now, like
Yeah.
I know we can help. I mean, honestly, we'll help each other out. And I know there's something that was there, a connection there that we just needed to make.
Yes.
Um, so I say for anybody who's watching this interview, like I'm based out of Richmond, Virginia, but I do buy in Hampton Roads. I do buy in Tennessee sometimes in Alabama. So give me a call, reach out to me. My number is 804-476-4055, 804-476-4055. If I don't answer the call, your first call, shoot me a text. I promise I'm gonna get back to you or so. But yeah, Ms. Linnie, I just want to tell you thank you so much. Thank you for the
Thank you.
interview. And I guess yeah, we'll call it there and leave any questions, comments. Um, Text me, call me, and my website, Side by Richmond Houses. Even if you're not in Richmond, Side by Richmond Houses, you can send me a notification through there, and we'll get back to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Si.